Hello there, welcome to my latest Photoshop tutorial. It's a design that I've seen floating around on Instagram recently and social media. Okay, so I thought I'd dissect it and give a tutorial on it. Okay, as you can see, we've got Eden Hazard, and he's popping out of the frame with a little bit of shadow down the bottom and a few adjustments. Okay, it seems like a quite popular design, so we'll get straight into it. Okay, so I've selected my image of Eden Hazard there. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy the background layer. So I'm just going to drag it down, okay? And next thing, do all the groundwork now. I'm going to cut out Eden Hazard, so I'm going to go from a pen tool, hit P, okay, and I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to cut it out. Okay, I'll speed this bit up so you don't have to see it. Okay, excuse me. So we've completed our path. Okay, I'm going to click selection at the top here. Okay, feather radius 0 pixels, anti-aliased text, new selection. Hit OK. Okay, and then I'm going to hit Command J on the Mac to create a new layer. So as you can see there, we've got a layer of Hazard. Now, if you can quickly see here, just underneath his arm, if you are using this image, okay, I'm just going to quickly delete that. Bit of a rush job. Close that path. Okay, hit selection. Okay, and I'm just going to delete that. And Command D to deselect. Command 0 to bring it back in. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so while we're here, then just going to just do a little take care of the bottom of his boot. Okay, because we're going to have a little bit of grass maybe. So I'm just going to have a layer mask. So I'm just going to click this circle in this square here. Add a vector mask. Okay, I'm going to hit the brush tool, make it nice and small. I'm going to double click that to make it nice and soft. Okay, and the flow. I like to work with flow. I'll have it at 10%. Make it even smaller than that even. Okay, we're going to fill this with shade anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's just to break up those straight lines. So it looks a bit more natural on the feet. That looks a bit better. Command 0. Okay, press V to bring it back to the move tool. Okay, so now we've done that. We're going to cut out this copied picture in the background here. So I'm just going to deselect that so you can't see that layer, and I'm going to make sure this background copy is highlighted. Okay, so I'm going to go to the rectangle tool. Okay, I'm going to make sure we've got a path selected here, and as I drag down, I'm going to hold Shift in so it keeps it constrained to a square. That's wrong. No, I'm not. Sorry. Come back from there. I'm going to click on the settings there. I'm going to make sure it's a square there. Okay. And then I'm going to drag, and it's a square. So wherever I drag, it's a square. If not, what would happen is press Command Z, because I've already got it previously set. If you have it unconstrained there, that's when it can just be any sort of size. So on the rectangle tool, make sure you've got path selected, hit the settings, and make sure you've got square selected there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to crop it just so his top of his finger, his hand sticks out. Okay, it's just between these pair of boots and this Newcastle player and the bottom of his, so it does look like he's stepping out. But we're going to move it anyway. So something around there. Okay, what we can do there is go into the path at the top here, press Command T, okay, and then I can just adjust it. Okay, so you see the quite big jump, so I can use my arrow keys, and I want him nice and central on the image, and I think that looks good. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, so I'm going to press Shift and Alt, so it brings all the entire box in. Okay, once I'm happy, I'm going to hit Enter. Okay, so I've got my path. Okay, at any point you come off here, you click on your move tool. Okay, what you need to do is go back down to the rectangle tool there. Okay, and you've got your path selected. You've got your work. We've got our work path. You're going to hit selection and hit OK. Okay, so once we've got our path selected, okay, we've made our selection. Okay, all we're going to do is go down here to the bottom. I'm going to click on the vector mask, add layer mask. Okay, and you'll notice we've cut it out. And then when we add Eden there, okay, because we've already cut him out, he's now popping out of that square. Okay, so click on this bottom layer on the background. Okay, we've got it deselected. So if we do select it, it brings the whole image back because we're working non-destructively. Okay, but we're going to add a new layer in between, and we're going to make sure we've got white selected here. Okay, so you can press D and then X to make sure you've got white at the forefront, and I'm going to hold Alt and backspace to fill it with white. Okay, so at this stage it's looking pretty good. Just to what we can add now is a little bit of shading to his boot. Okay, so I'm going to click a new layer underneath hazard. I'm going to hit the brush tool. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to the brush tool and I'm going to angle it so it's going to be nice and flat. And I'm going to zoom in. And just while it's nice and small, I'm just going to raise the float up a little bit. Hit X, make sure I've got black selected. Okay, and I'm just going to paint some initial shadow underneath him where the darkest bit is. Okay, it's not there's no fine art to this. Okay, it's just playing around with it, seeing what works for you. I'm going to make it a little bit flatter. Okay, I'm going to bring the flow down for the next part of the shadow. I'm going to bring it down forward, and if you just keep tapping it, it's going to make it darker, make it a little bit bigger, come across a little bit. V, Command 0. That's looking good. It's looking artificial. That's what we're looking for. So I'm going to click on Eden there. I'm just going to rename him. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do a new layer. I'm going to create a clipping mask. Okay, once I've got my clipping mask, got this layer clipped. Okay, I'm going to get my brush tool, hit B. You can double click, make sure it's selected, nice and soft. Okay. And make it nice and small. I'm going to bring the flow down and I'm just going to paste, maybe not that strong, 4 maybe, nice and small, just some artificial shadow onto his leg and onto his boot. There we go. So Command 0. And then if you see there, take away the shadow. See, we've got some artificial shadow. You can play around with it. Okay, so I'm just going to name this shading. This one we're going to name shadow. Okay, so it's looking good. Okay, so now at this stage, if you've got a plugin, if I click on filter there, I've got it's called the Nik Collection, Color Efex Pro. Now this used to be free. Now I understand it's not free anymore, so if it's not free anymore, it's not the end of the world. We're just going to add some detail. So what you can do with there is you can just create a new layer, link that one in. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to go to filter, other, high pass, get it on around a radius of 2 pixels, click OK. Click on overlay. Okay, we've brought out a bit of detail onto Eden. Now, I don't want to do that, so what I'm going to do is that's a way of what we're doing. But for this one, all I'm going to do is I'm going to create it into a smart object. That means we can adjust it. Okay, I'm going to filter. I'm going to use Nik Collection, Color Efex Pro. Now, I've just looked on the website. You can download it on a free 30-day trial, so I think it's worth it. And you can see we've got a before and after. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to have detail extract up at 75%. Let's get it up there. And bring the contrast. Sorry, wrong. I'll have the contrast at 75. The detail about 60. No, 55. Let's see what that looks like. Yep, so that looks good. We've got saturation minus 5% if you are using Color Efex Pro. Okay, so again, it's looking good. What I'm going to do is for the background copy, we've got Aspol Carletta. I can't pronounce his name, I think that's how you spell it. Okay, again, I'm going to create it into a smart object filter, and I'm going to use the Nik Collection again. But again, you can just use that, duplicate it over high pass, which is just there. Okay, 2 pixels, and then change the blending mode to overlay. So Nik Collection, Color Efex Pro. Now I don't want it as at the same detail, so I'm going to drop the detail down to about 45. Contrast, drop it down to 55. I'm going to saturate it a little bit more. Minus 25. Okay, and we're going to add some bit of gloss as well, so another adjustment layer. Okay, go to levels, and this slider here, just going to slide it into. You see how it affects it. Maybe 20, so it helps Hazard stand out. Okay, and we want it ready. Ready for Instagram, so we're just going to go to the crop tool. Okay, ratio 1:1 square, hit enter. Let it do its work. Got a few fills to do. And there we go. There's our Instagram sports edit of Hazard popping out. Yeah, hope you enjoyed that quick tutorial. Okay, got any comments or questions? Leave them down below. I'll link the image and to the website of the Nik Collection if you're interested in that. And yeah, like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Thanks for your time. Hope you enjoyed it.